Welcome back to Bee Loft by Lift Tech. Today's Saturday, May 24th, about 11 a.m. We're out here at the Farm Apiary, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius. We're going to check all the hives today. I had a walk back here because the crossing was a little treacherous. It didn't look very safe for the truck to come over. I was afraid that it would slip off the edge there. So doesn't look like there's anything in the swarm trap, but we'll check it anyways. We're going to weed eat all this here to get it out of the way. Spray the ground with the salt and vinegar mix to keep down the bugs and the weeds. And we'll wrap this one up, and then we'll move on to the Madison apiary shortly. So stay tuned, and we'll get into these hives here. I'm going to start down here at the far end. The bees are pretty active down here. The second hive in is not... See a few bees coming in and out, but not as many as I think. But there's some pollen coming in. See if we can get that on camera here. See some yellow pollens coming in on a couple bees so far. Oh, sorry. There we are. Got bees coming at the camera here. A little pollen on that bee there. Might be hard to see. See if I can zoom in a little more. And there you go. You can see some pollen on that one that just went in. So we're going to back out and we're going to look at these hives. I had to leave all the equipment in the truck. And like I said, it's about 100 yards for me to walk over there, and I didn't bring a wagon to haul the stuff back here because I didn't think I'd have to walk. But the field here is full of clover and a lot of things blooming out here. So we're going to see how it goes and just check these hives real quick. See if we need any extra frames, boxes, if we need to reshuffle things a little bit. We'll see how it goes. Stay tuned. Okay, so I got the camera at the highest setting here that I can have on the tripod. And you can see the bees are filling up pretty good up here at the top. Let me slide this over here so I can pull some frames. Make sure it's still on camera. Yep. And we're just going to get into this one. Try not to see how these bees are. Yeah, they're still pretty calm. I gave them a little bit of smoke just because I didn't want them rushing out at me. We're just going to go start on the second frame here. I do have a queen excluder on this. We're going to have to break this apart. And we'll see how much honey we got going in this honey super. Might be able to shake bees down below. Yeah, this is filling up nicely. We're starting to cap it there, right here on this where my thumb is. But that is full of nectar. Full on this side too. Looking good. We're going to move over 2 frames. We might rotate frames here. You know, when the center gets full and capped and the outsides are not capped, if you move those outside ones to the middle, the bees will cap those and fill those up more instead of going to the edges. They always seem to work the middle of the hive. Yeah, this one's doing real well too. Starting to cap it here, but they still have a lot of room to fill. So I can just leave this in the middle. Looks like this hive is doing just fine. We'll get down to the bottom frames and do a quick inspection there. Make sure our queen's laying and we have brood. Slowly put this back in. To give it a little more room. There we go. And to move slowly. Just drew the bees up to my hand there, moving a little too quick. Move this out of the way. Let's give them a quick smoking. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. Oh yeah, that's got a lot of weight to it. Probably weighs about 45 pounds right now. These bees are looking good. I haven't seen any beetles, which is great. I did buy the blue shop towels to put on them. If I notice a lot of beetles in a hive, I'll probably put it in a couple hives here just to check and see how that's working, or how that would work. Other people say they work great, trapping the beetles. Beetles get stuck on it and then they die because they can't get off it to feed. It's a little tight here. Break this free without breaking the frame. There we go. Reach over here and over here. There we go. I don't like cross grabbing like I'm grabbing right now. Oh yeah, the queen's up here laying. I don't see the queen, but see lots of brood. You can see there, lots of brood and drones. Drones walking around. There's a big one right there in the middle. I think you can see that. Hard for me to see the camera. I got it up so high. But yeah, this is looking good. The bees should be moving down. I really don't want to put another tall box on here, but another deep I might have to. But I have mostly undrawn comb with me. You know, just frames with foundation in them. Slow on this. Oh yeah, they're looking good. They're filling this with nectar. They're backfilling, so that's good. As they expand, they're backfilling. That's what I want. So you can see there on this side here, this is mostly nectar as the brood has come out. So I think this one will be okay for a couple weeks. We'll be back here to start pulling honey soon. I hope to pull honey by the end of June, like I normally do, and start getting the boxes ready for winter at that point. Bees, we're gonna have to do mite checks soon. I don't check very often. Usually check at the end of May like this before the mites explode. If it's really bad, then I do an oxalic acid treatment. But I usually wait until I pull my honey before I do any treatments. So let's smoke these bees back down. I'm going to pause the video. We're going to get into these other hives. If I see something interesting, I'll show it, of course. I'm trying not to squish these bees on the edge there. Usually got to smoke them to get back in, stack this back up. So it's a pretty good weighted box here. Slowly put that on. There we go. Got a couple bees on my hand. Okay. So that's stacked up. We will get into this next hive. Just got to close this one up. Nope. Need my inner cover that I like to use. Slide this on here. Try not to squish any of those bees. There we are. And we'll give these bees a little smoke to try to get them off the top here. And stragglers, I just give a quick light brushing to. And then we can put our lid back on. All right. So I'm going to check the rest of these hives, so stay tuned. Okay, so I'm only in the second hive, and I think it is queenless. I have not found any brood yet. And the bees are a little agitated. But all these cells are empty. So I'm going to find some eggs and give them some eggs, and hopefully they will create a queen. But every frame I've looked at has no queen cells. Lots of brood, or lots of bee bread and nectar, but population is definitely dwindling in this hive. So I'm going to find some eggs in another hive and move them over here. I'll find one that's strong and go from there. Okay, so to continue with the voiceover, we're looking at a hive here that I'm trying to get an idea of how well they're drawing comb. Not exactly remembering how far, because this is about 2 months ago, that I'm trying to remember what I did on this part of the recording. So it's good to make sure your microphone's working and try to keep up to date with your YouTube videos and not delay on how long it takes. So the bees have drawn some of the comb here, but as you can see, that one frame was not drawn out. And as I get into the hive here, you can see the frames that are drawn out. The bees are starting to cap the honey, which we did get a decent amount of honey from the farm this year. You can see there's a little bit capped there and a little bit capped there. Bees were doing really well on this hive. So try to keep my spacing here. I checkerboarded them, I believe. It's where you have every other frame is drawn, and you try to get them to draw the new comb on the frames that are not drawn. So just try to gently pry them apart. Move slow enough that the bees aren't going to attack you. And you can see how they're drawing out this comb a little bit fatter because the frame next to it was not drawn out, so they can go a little fatter. Which if you do 9 frames, they say you get more honey in 9 frames than you do in 10, and it's easier to pry them apart. But you never know. The bees do get a mind of their own, and sometimes they'll draw some cross comb or joint comb, and it makes it hard to pull the frames out without them ripping into the honey. So trying to move the frames that are drawn to the outside and put the undrawn frames towards the middle. The bees don't seem to like to have the undrawn frames in the middle. Got my beetle trap here. I have to make sure I don't drop into the hive. Trying to improve on my filming technique. You can see they've capped all of this honey here. Nice frame of drawn comb. So just got to work slowly, putting things back together, trying to organize the frames so they're drawing more comb, capping it. If it's uncapped, put that in the middle. They'll end up capping it better than if you leave it on the edges. And then always try to leave enough honey for the winter, but of course this is early on. So sorry I'm late on getting these videos out. Just getting Jordan to help me with it. Alright, we're going to move on to actually the live video, I think. So no more voiceover going forward. Okay, so this hive drew a little bridge comb. As you can see here, we'll look down in the hive here. You can see this bridge comb right here, and it attached to this frame here. So this is a fully drawn box, and bees are looking good here. So I'm just going to go down on the bottom here, see what's going on. This split that I made does have eggs in it, so the queen is building up. I'm going to put an extra box on here with drawn comb, a five frame deep box. That way the bees can populate that. It'll be easier to put them into a 10 frame box here in a couple weeks. So I'm going to wrap this up, and we'll finish up the video shortly. All right, I'm going to wrap things up now. I still have to weed eat, but just to get clearance here of what we did. Get down here on the end. So end hive was fine. This hive and this hive were queenless, so I took eggs from this hive over here. Let me widen this out, which is the middle hive, or the 5th or 6th hive, depending which end you're coming from. Should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll call it the 6th hive. So I took eggs from there, put them in both of these in the 8th and 9th hive. This hive was fine. It looks like my swarm prevention didn't work very well, because it looks like that hive has swarmed also, and it looks like the hive on the end may have swarmed. So, but I added box to this one here just to make sure they have plenty of room to get into it. And then I always save this hive for last. All these bees that are buzzing the camera right now. I'm hooked on the weeds here. Let me shorten up my tripod. Sorry about the shakiness at the moment. I'll shorten this up and make it easier to use. So all these bees that are coming at me are from this hive here. I thought it had calmed down the last 2 years, but it didn't like me getting in there today. Once I got past the honey, they were very mad. The hive is, both those boxes are solid. They started filling up the bottom, so I took 2 brood frames, moved them up into the middle here, and then they have 10 empty frames, 2 in the middle deep there, and 8 on the top. So hopefully they'll come up and draw that. All this burr comb here is from their hive right there, and they're just going nuts over all this. Said I put a 5 frame deep in here. Moved a frame of brood up top. They got brood down below. Most of the bees were down below. So, but it's 4 frames are drawn comb. 1 is not. So hopefully next couple weeks they'll build some of that out. I think we're coming to the end of the nectar flow as full as some of these supers are. Hopefully not, but I'm going to start packing things up, weed eat, and get out of here. It's like 1:30, so I've been here about 2.5 hours. And probably here another half hour trimming this weeds and doing the salt and vinegar mix to kill stuff on the ground and hopefully control some hive beetles. So thanks for watching Bee Loft by LipTech. I'm David, and we'll see you on the next video. Okay, so in order to get to the bees, I have to drive across this area right here. And it's a little too treacherous, I think, a little narrow. I'm afraid I'd sink into the mud here, even though I have 4-wheel drive. Then I'm also afraid that I might slip off on this side. So we got to build some type of bridge here to fill this gap, because this is the second time this has happened in the last couple of years. I mean, there's just so much water comes down this path here and brings all this mud, and it just fills up these drain pipes. But the bees are about 100 yards that way through that field. Doing pretty good today. So thanks for watching Bee Loft by LipTech. We'll see you on the next video.